Okay, part one of this question, we have got to do a quicksort, all right? And we've got to go in ascending alphabetical order. You are allowed to just use the letters. And it's all about accurately labelling your pivots and not making mistakes. So most of the lost marks on this question were because people did not put things the correct side of the pivot. To get you started, you always go for the middle one or the second one in the middle pair. Here we've got n in the middle, so this is going to be your first pivot. On the next row we're going to have n in a box with everything on the correct side of that n. Okay, and you always go from left to right, so it will be h will either be here or here, v will either be after the h here or straight after the n, and so on. So you don't do any sorting other than putting things the correct side of the pivot. Okay. Some people like to state at the end of each line what the pivots were, which is great. The examiner will like you, but you don't have to do it. Okay. At the end, either everything has become a pivot, or well, everything should become a pivot at the end. You can write sorted as well if you wish to. Okay. Binary search, you were worse at. Okay. First point about this is you have to start with a sorted list. This version of the list you cannot do binary sorting because it's not in order. So very often you'll have to do a sort first before the binary search. Use the sorted list, and then you need to show me all your pivots. So you number the values, not these values in this order, but whatever sorted values you've got. You numbered them from 1 up to 9. And then for your first pivot, you tell me 1 plus 9 over 2 equals, and then you round up to the next value, so you give me the number. So to start you off, 1 plus 9 over 2 is 5, so that rounds to the fifth number anyway, and that you name what that is. Okay, so it probably isn't Nicky anymore, so you say what it is, and then you say what you discard. Okay, so every pivot line looks like that. A calculation. Name what, round it if necessary, name what the pivot is, and then say what you'd discard. So if the pivot is in position 5, maybe you'll discard the pivot and everything after it. So it might be 5 to 9 you discard, but it might be 1 to 5 you discard. So you decide, okay. Now, when you finish off, okay, your last pivot must be Paul. Okay, you're going to find Paul. Before you find Paul, it may be that you have to do something really stupid with the last number. So if Paul is in position, I don't know, 8, and you've only got Paul left, but he hasn't been discarded, you have to do 8 plus 8 over 2 equals 8. So the pivot is the 8th value, which is Paul, and then you say, therefore, Paul is found. Now, it won't be 8th, but you have to do something like this to show that you've actually had Paul as a pivot, otherwise you're going to lose a mark. Hope that helps.